We got our start at a hackathon. I was actually working in a corporate job. My background is marketing and analytics and events. It's funny enough. I did college. I was that guy that was the promoter, turned into the producer in college, doing bar events and concerts. Um, and then I upgraded. I got into the corporate marketing sphere. So I worked at global event leader IQPC and hosted their C-suite Fortune 500 event. So it's a big shift from party events to let's get work done with some of the world's leaders.
It's time to reimagine events. Unfortunately, in the past 2 years, many events were postponed while others chose a virtual or hybrid model. And some no longer exist. My name is Georgie and I am the CEO and founder of GSD Solutions. At GSD Solutions, we've been exploring virtual events since 2016. And in the past 18 months, we've produced over 200 virtual events. We're inviting virtual platforms, industry experts, and service providers to talk to you all about what the events industry will look like.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Events Reimagined, the series where we talk about how we can reflect on the past of the events industry and now what we're looking at as the virtual event industry and how we can reimagine what the future and the present will look like. Today I have a very special guest, Alex Abell, who I've met is an amazing CEO from Lunchpool. We'll be diving into that in just a second. If this is your first time joining one of our Events Reimagined series, well, my name is Georgie Gettin, and I am the CEO and founder of GSD Solutions. We are a business development agency that focuses on virtual event production. We've been doing this for a while now, since back in 2019. And we all know what happened with the COVID-19 pandemic. Virtual events took a huge turn and we got into the future a little bit sooner than folks had expected. So we are super excited to have this series to help people catch up because there has been a lot of different platforms, tools, solutions, companies that were here before the pandemic that became pandemic babies, as we've mentioned in a couple episodes. And so now we have Alex here to talk about his solution, which is Lunchpool. So Alex, if you could just give us a little bit of an introduction of yourself, and then we'll start talking about Lunchpool in just a moment.
Definitely, yeah. So thanks for having me. First of all, I've been watching some of this series, and it's just like you said. There's so much going on. The space of meeting, new ways to meet online, and hybrid and virtual and all the other words is just exploding. And so I'm honored to be a part of it, and we can talk about the pivot. But basically, I'm the founder, CEO. I also add on my title, lunch break enforcer. Because I have to make my team go to lunch. We love what we do so much. Of Lunchpool, and we started out as an app to bring people together in person. Um, Obviously, March of last year, we realized that's not a really good business to be in at that time. Luckily, in January, we had found some software to do a virtual. We were trying to see what we could bring into our platform to accommodate for the remote employees, and the rest is history. Now we have a ton of partners with the different technologies. We incorporate them all into a seamless experience or seamless experiences for our clients. And we have over 200 clients across the globe. We've produced, I think it grows every day. I need to keep up with the stat, but 550 virtual events since March of last year. So it's been quite a ride. Yeah, glad to be here.
Congratulations on that growth and that experience, Alex. And it's so interesting to see like how we've all had to transform to this virtual world. And it's so nice when I talk to different folks. And some people you would think, oh yeah, I had a virtual company before. And they're like, no, we were trying to do something virtual to get people to meet in person. And then we said, we're doing something virtual. Why not get them together virtually? So let's dive into a little bit more about Lunchpool. So, the big growth happened last year, but from when did how did you start the company? And what made you decide beyond the pandemic, if there was something else beyond the pandemic, to commit to building this virtual ecosystem?
Yeah, definitely. So We got our start at a hackathon. I was actually working in a corporate job. My background is marketing and analytics and events. And so it's funny enough, I did college. I was that guy that was the promoter, turned into the producer in college, doing bar events and concerts. Um, and then I upgraded. I got into the corporate marketing sphere. So I worked at global event leader IQPC, and hosted their C-suite Fortune 500 events. So it's a big shift from party events to let's get work done with some of the world's leaders. And then I got more into marketing. My job was at Ashley Furniture, on their business intelligence team, and staring at spreadsheets day in and day out. I realized this was not not a life for me, and I'd always kind of had an inclination to get back to that original. Even though I was doing something like party promoting, I basically bankrupted myself, having such a good time. I knew that entrepreneurship was for me, and thinking through, I got invited to a hackathon. So they have these weekend long hackathons. This one was put together by TechStars, and I was just gonna check it out. Just see what it was all about. But the day before, I was going to lunch with my lunch pool, the two or three guys that I would go to lunch with day in and day out that just sat near me. And I realized, like, I know them, better than anybody in the company. And I had started expanding my lunch pool to I had to work very closely with the girls in merchandising, and I didn't know them, and so I was like, hey, do you guys want to go to lunch? And as we were building our personal connection over lunch, we started figuring out ways that we could work together better. They were like, Photoshop, and I was like, don't tell anybody, because I don't want that to get out. But it's those interpersonal connections outside of the project work that you do in the workplace. That's really what sparked this idea. And so we set out to build software, and you can actually see it's a little bit, it's blurry because of my camera, but where is it? But there,
Like the
that's the
in-person stands.
yeah, that's the app that we started building. You can kind of see the map on there, but it's find people near you, was the first concept, and then we shifted to a more B2B model. It's like find your coworkers within this social network inside your company, essentially, and get out together. Find people. The technology is is a new kind of social network, right? It's not, we want to keep you in the feed. We want you to use the technology, but to find people and then get out face to face in person. And so that's where we started. To your point earlier, we did an event called Break Tampa Bay. So I got my start in Tampa Bay, Florida, and the thing that we realized was people are doing webinars, people are doing at that time, like it was a one to many kind of thing, and so we were having trouble getting people to our in-person networking events that we were putting together, because you have St. Petersburg, Florida over here. If you know the area, there's a bridge that connects to Tampa and then Clearwater, and those people don't mingle at networking events, especially after work, because you can't, like, you get stuck in the traffic, and it's frustrating. So we said, let's break that barrier. We'll call it break because it was a lunch break, but and, meeting people where they were. We're trying to get people away from their desk, because everybody these days, well, back then, but these days by design, by requirement, people are eating lunch alone, and so it's like, let's meet them where they are, so they can still be at their desk, they can have lunch together, but they can really network and meet new people. And that was in January of 2020. We had found, I know we have a lot of connection. I know we first connected, you and I, over Remo. Remo was a baby back then, and now they're a contender in this space.
Yeah, they're a
Um,
teenager now.
yeah, they're a teenager. Yeah, on their way to hop in style. I don't even know if hop ins are grown up now, but they're pretty big. But
They're the cool
but
kids now.
yeah,
Everyone has their cliques, like the how can I say this? Like the virtual event platform cliques. There's some that are like
it's the
really
lunchroom. It's the
cool.
lunchroom. You
It's the
got the cool
lunchroom.
kids table. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. And it's I mean, they're probably the rich kids table, not the cool kids table. We're at the cool kids table. But and they've got 400 million in funding, and we're bootstrapped. So we've
The rich
bootstrapped our
kid
way
table.
here. Yeah, I would love to sit there, but I don't have a nice enough car. But 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 I am proud of where we've gotten. And you had asked me the kind of strategy that got us to where we are now is we shifted hard, right? It was not even just a pivot. I was like, we just kind of restarted. We reset. We were doing the app. We had done that event. And that was more of a marketing kind of thing to get people to pilot our app. We had
Mm-hmm.
a huge company that was doing the initial pilot. They went from 500 or not huge, a mid-market company, but they were $1 billion unicorn, valuation company. Just know before a cybersecurity company out of Clearwater, and they went from 30 employees to 500 employees, and now they did an IPO recently, and I lost count of how many employees they have. But you know we had to shift. Like the world changed, and as it was changing, in February of last year, before pandemic happening, not endemic yet, it hadn't gotten over here yet. But my wife is a professor, and she's like, I have this conference in California. I don't think I'm going to go because you know there's all this stuff, like who knows who's traveling, all the things that we
Mm-hmm.
all saw. And then we got a call. I was in Best Buy, and somebody's like, "Hey, is this Alex with Break Tampa Bay?" And I was like, "Yes," because we had gotten a little bit of press from that event. It was really well attended. And then and so it gave me the idea. I was like, "We can do this. We can use Remo to virtualize these events for our for clients, and I want to start with nonprofits because they're going to get hit the hardest. Having some experience working inside nonprofits, fundraisers, which usually happen around September, uh, you know right after summer gets back. um, that's how they make the money to sustain their operations. And so we put it out there. We started with a children's museum, and it spread like wildfire. Like I was getting 100 leads a week, because everybody had to shift. They said, I don't know how to do virtual events. I tried it. It sucked. People hated it, because Zoom, I've been to some really good people have figured out how to make Zoom events compelling and engaging, but still you see a ton
It's
of
a meeting
events.
platform,
It's a
and no
meeting
matter
platform.
no
Yeah.
matter how you flip it or
Yeah.
turn it, it's a meeting platform.
It's a meeting platform. Yeah. And Zoom webinar, can work to get the one to many content out there, but it's not engaging. There's the chat is de-emphasized. There's just, and Teams, don't even get me started on Teams. Sorry, Microsoft, hate Teams. But especially if you try to throw a virtual event in Teams, you're gonna have a bad time. I've been a speaker in one, and it was not fun. But you know there's different elements that have to go into these, as you well know. You have to have a plan, you have to have production, you have to have people that know the technology inside and out. And so that's what we do. I always told my team, we're not really event producer, we're not an event production company. We sell peace of mind. That was our pivot. Like, hey, we'll help you. We've done this. We know how to do it. We know the platform inside and out. We can work through. It's a new platform, but we can work through any bugs that may
Yeah.
exist. And so, yeah, it's we shifted because I didn't want to just be reliant on one platform. So we shifted to building partnerships with other platforms that were unique, and I can show you some too. They were unique enough to really offer a whole different experience, and not jeopardize our relationship with Remo, because I know you're a gold agency partner. I believe we've been through it, helping them develop this agency program, and so you know having our portfolio of platforms, we've uh, hobbled together sounds bad, but we've integrated our own platform that really it serves to let people break out, and I think that's the whole point. You have to break out into smaller groups if you want to have really compelling, engaging events. And so that mix of, here's a presentation, okay, let's break out, even if it's just breaking out for virtual table
Yeah.
discussions. It's phenomenal, it's magical, and we've built a business around it. So yeah, you can see our virtual office and some of our partners if you want to, or whatever you want to what do you
Yeah,
do?
so I would love to take a look at the platform. I see your screen sharing. Is that the screen you'd like me to bring up?
Yeah, we can start there, and I can kind of
All
walk you
right,
through what we've
cool.
got.
So we
So
are at the Lunchpool headquarters.
yeah,
We see a bunch of little lunch bags and poolers.
yeah, and I don't
Talk
think
to
you've
me
ever
about
seen.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, I
tell me
don't
a
think
little
you've ever
bit
seen
more.
this before. So, let me look in. And so this is what you first land in, and this is a new offering. Like we basically do the moment in time events. We're shifting over because we've gotten a lot of requests for always on spaces. Right? People want
Mm.
somewhere to gather. They want somewhere to hold their events, but they also want somewhere that they can just meet up and have their team. And on the I think it's emerging. It hasn't really hit the spotlight, the prime time yet, but like my team is in here right now. Like we work within our space. And I set the expectation. I'm like, guys, yes, 9 to 5 are our working hours, but it's flexible. The new reality of the world is flexible, but there are times that you want to, just pop into someone. So like between 9 and 5, for the most part, people are in there. Sometimes they go out for long lunches and stuff, and that's strongly encouraged.
At
But
Lunchpool.
exactly, you gotta have lunch at minimum. I'm the lunch break enforcer. Um, but you see like up here we have our lunch room. You can go into the game room, um, the work area, which is the smallest. You'll notice. I don't know. Maybe that's by design. Um, but you can navigate to different places. So like the work area is we only have 3 in there right now. I think everybody is to lunch. We're recording this around lunchtime. Um, but this is a tool, Cosmos Video, and we've really been developing a deep integration and partnership with these guys. They're out of the UK. Most of the software we use is global. We I don't even know if we have a partner in the US. I'll have to think through as we work through this. But you can see, let's see, we've got it Halloween themed. We decorated it a little
Yeah,
bit.
everyone's. We've seen a lot of Halloween themes recently, and it's so adorable. I can't wait for the rest of the holidays. Like, I think this year was the first like Valentine's Day, but I don't think people really went in for Valentine's Day. Like, I don't think
No,
we're
yeah.
really. I think now that we've passed like the 18-month threshold, people are saying, "Oh, we're doing this.
Oh yeah,
We
yeah. I
are
think
doing this. We're having fun." So Halloween has been like the first
Halloween
real
and
big
Christmas.
opportunity.
In my household, there's no Valentine's Day, yes, but there's no holidays like Halloween and Christmas
Yeah,
because
Halloween and
you get to
Christmas.
dress up and then you get presents. So
Yep.
what's better than that? Let me hop over. I think Sarah. It looks like she's available, so you can see kind of the icons. Anissa is focusing is the yellow icon. Looks like Sarah is available, so I'll put her on the spot. She doesn't know I'm coming over, but we have a little
Oh, it sounds
jetpack
like little
too.
icons.
Yeah. Hey
You
Sarah,
talking to
what you
me?
doing?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I'm actually on a video call, but showing off the office to my friend Georgie. So just wanted to say hey.
Hi.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot, but just wanted to say hey. How's your
So
day
where in the
going?
world is Sarah?
Good. I
S
like all the Halloween decorations in here.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Sarah, where she was asking, she can't, Georgie, she can't hear you, but you can hear her. So Sarah, where are you located? Because my team is all over the world.
Oh, I'm in Florida.
Florida. So she is in Florida, where we started. Anissa up here. I'll see you later. Bye.
Hi.
Anissa up here is actually in Tennessee. That's where I am. Our New Yorker is somewhere, and then we just hired on a Californian near where you are, Georgie.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I have some folks on my team. Oh, I'm actually in New York. I have somebody
Oh,
on
you're
my
in New
team.
York. Oh,
Yeah, I'm in New York. We have some team members that are in California, Chicago. So we same, like just literally
it's the
all over
new
the country.
it's
It's
the new way to work. I have employees that I know so well, but I haven't met them yet.
You've
It's
never
like
met them, right?
it's
Same.
crazy.
We have to have like an actual in-person retreat at some point, though. I'm just like, you
Oh,
guys
we
are
have, yeah,
amazing.
yeah. We did it with our Florida crew. Like I went down to St. Pete and we did a photo shoot slash
Nice.
we did a food tour of St. Pete. Um, and our other people that weren't in Florida, actually our New Yorker flew down for it, but the other team members were like, okay, so when are you coming to our city? Because I think I'm gonna have people come down for a camping trip. We'll get a cabin or something in Tennessee. You can't beat the
Nice.
Smokies. So that's Cosmos is what we've been using for our main office area and selling. We just closed a big enterprise client on their own space that uses Cosmos as the primary like work zone, work area.
Nice.
Um, and then the breakouts are where we, will host meetings depending on which type of meeting or event, um, fits best. So like you can see, this is hidden from the public because we have guests in here as well. It's where we hold our client meetings. And you can see that like we have our knowledge base in here. So it's one place that people can go to get the employee handbook, how-to guides, all the operational stuff. And then we have our lunchroom. So this is I'll just briefly walk you through the different platforms if that's cool. Jump in if you have questions.
Yeah.
So this is uh, so this is Remo, and we just had an event there recently. We have our game room is also in Cosmos, because they have one of the things that drew us to this, because we like to get work done. We also like to get play
Oh,
done.
so when
So
you
you
go in
can
there, do you
see,
actually get to play?
yeah, so you can play games together. We have like this is Space Invaders. That they're all two people too, so they all encourage connection. So where's my favorite game? There's a puzzle game. We moved them around a little bit. You can play poker. You can play ping pong, but it's pong. You have to have two to start this, or no? I guess I could play by myself. No, you have to have two. Um, but yeah, there's a puzzling game, and my team absolutely loves it. And this telephone game is amazing too, because you put in a prompt, and then the next person in line has to draw it, and then it gets sent down the line, and then at the end it tells a story, and it is usually hilarious.
Hilarious. That definitely does sound
Yeah.
hilarious.
So those kind of things, in the office, like it gives you a little bit of a break. So you can get work done here. I mean, in the office, same concept. I can hit X and we can open up a Google Doc and or a whiteboard and get work done too. But the game room is where we goof off. Um, we have this is another platform that we use, where we've actually integrated this into our own tech stack, but we have we call it cheese with threes, but it's a cheesy photo booth, and so we encourage our guests to get in there. It's a really big hit for events, and as people take the picture, it's on my other camera. Hello. um, you can you can customize all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also use it as like lead gen for your events to have like kind of a leave behind. And one of my
Yeah.
teammates, Mary, is great at these stickers and things. And then it shows up. And so we just added a mosaic too, so it'll actually use the photos. I don't think it's set up now, but over time to fill in a
Like a
pretty
bigger
cool.
picture.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Love
for
that.
in-person, for hybrid events, that's huge. We did one where we had a TV and people could do, virtual people could do the photo booth. In-person people could just scan the QR code and use their phone to do pictures. And then it all came together on a TV with the logo of the event in the background. And it was a really cool experience. This is Gather. And so we use Gather for kind of a conference room. This is our Watts conference building. I love Alan Watts. He's one of my favorite philosophers. And so it's similar to Cosmos, but we prefer our office in Cosmos and then just kind of a hangout and gather.
Do you want to say like what's like the perk? Because I think a lot of people
Mhm.
that will be watching this will be like they look similar. So what's the differentiating factor of like one versus the other, or is it really just how you've integrated it to make it work for your solution?
Yeah, I think they can both be worked. Like you could have your virtual office in here, but just from what we discovered when we were researching both, is that every product detail of Cosmos went into how do we make this the best office, right? And then Gather really went more of a broad approach, right? So they have floor plans and things for like church groups. You can have a virtual classroom in here. And I've done that for my wife's class before. It's a pretty cool experience. So we got a lot more value out of Cosmos for the virtual office solution, but for kind of a lot of other use cases, we use Gather for that.
Nice. So guys that are watching, you see Alex and his team have already done all of the necessary research and testing, and they have been thinking a lot about how to make sure these items are working to the best of the capabilities for you all to come on and have a really great experience here.
Yeah, so I mean that's really like, and this one's a phone booth because you can call in. A lot of these new apps aren't really mobile optimized that well.
Hmm.
So if you ever have that issue, this one actually has a dial in number, so you can call in.
Nice.
Um, but
The
yeah, to your
dance
point, I
hall.
mean,
I
oh, you
want to
got to
see
see that.
that
You got to see
one.
this is the Dolly dance hall. Um, yeah, so but that's what we do is we love tinker, or I love, and my team has to because I love it so much, tinkering with these new tools and figuring out how do we add value for people. How do we make sure that our expertise shines through and lets people host really engaging gatherings that connect their people. This is a company out of the Netherlands, and hang on, it is it's 3D. So like, I always say we do events with dimension, or events in dimensions at least. So this one's,
Oh,
first
so it's like you're
person.
inside of it.
Yeah. So, this is our dance hall. I can put on a cool hat. You can see what my little person, well, I like this hat down here, the little bunny hat. So I can put that on. That's what I look like to other people.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah. And then we've actually had a dance party in here. So, I can jump on stage, the mic gets broadcast to everybody in here, but I can also turn on the dance floor, and then we're dancing, we're hopping around. It's so fun. My
That's
favorite
pretty cool.
Yeah, my favorite feature is you can pop champagne. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And then a new one, another new one, the last one I'll show is our I call it our satellite office, because we actually have an office on a virtual moon in space. And so this one's also more 3D. You can rotate around, and I love this company. They're new to the scene. It's called Spot. What they do, what they've been able to achieve, I think, is really blending a lot of the different tools together. So you can see,
Mm,
I have my avatar, because what's to me, there's nothing worse than having a meeting or event and everybody's camera off.
yeah.
But with this, it kind of works because you have your avatar, but then you can also turn your camera on. And I broke something, of course, but
I
it'll.
think you're using the camera here.
Oh, that's what it is. Yep, you're right. But it will. Yeah, I could probably change it to my other one. Integrated. There we go. Yeah.
So it
So
changes it. Yeah, so you have the option of being,
yeah,
me or like my avatar. So I like that a lot because I think some people, they're just like avatars are weird, and some people are just like, I don't want to be on camera, but I still want to talk and participate. So it gives you that happy middle.
exactly. And it's kind of cool the way they handled this too. So I could share another screen on the TV, and then there's also, you can click it, and so there's a lot of different ways to meet. I We haven't written anything fun in a while, but you have like your little fridge magnets. I mean, there's all these platforms that are emerging have these fun, cool little, like, I call them delighters. Let me close this out.
Yeah, I'll
And
remove this screen. Yep.
yeah, and but they also help you get work done. Like they have their fun and their work and their play, and I think you need both to have a really balanced life.
Yep.
And that's what everybody needs right now, because we call it the zoomies. I don't know if you've ever had the zoomies, but if you're in like uh, more than 3 meetings in a day, I get the zoomies. I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't
I don't
want
want
to
to
do
talk
this
to people
anymore.
anymore.
Yeah,
I felt it.
yeah.
Um, so thank you, Alex. And I have like about two more questions. We're coming to the
Sure.
close of our conversation, and I want to kind of recap that. Right, what we just saw was how Alex was able to look at his concept that he had before. Right, Lunchpool, having people gather together, come together, meet, and he was there. His team was building an app, and then they decided to pivot and actually make a whole turn and redesign it and rethink of how can we use. There's dozens of platforms coming out daily, and we have about a little under 100 of these tools in our virtual event guide that we created for Events Reimagined, which is free on our website, GSC
Nice.
Solutions. But it's this platforms are coming out every day. Some are great for one thing, some are great for another thing. And what Alex and his team has done, instead of saying, oh, we're going to try to build a whole new thing and compete with all these platforms, we're going to use these platforms to our best of our ability to be complementary, right? To generate, build something completely new from something that already exists, and allow not only that company to thrive, but now our company is thriving and will help even more companies thrive by, one, giving them the expertise and knowledge of how to use these different platforms, and putting them together in a way that makes the platform shine on their own, but also allows you to see how they can work in collaboration with other things that are out there. It's not, with the virtual event space, it's not just a one platform solution for everything. Like we've seen that, there's ways to mix and match, and some things are for one-off events, some things are for long-term events, for months, for weeks, for days. And so we just, love what you're doing, Alex. And so now to close out the conversation, I would want to ask you, what has been your biggest learning through all of this experience, right? Building your company, finding these platforms, making them work with your solution. What has been your biggest learning?
Yeah, my biggest learning has really been to your point you just made, co-opetition, right? We've gone from I love co-opetition. I heard that word and I was like, oh, I'm taking that. It's a new world where you could get into the kind of frilly abundance mindset type stuff, but it's real. We've gone from a world of scarcity to this virtual extension of the physical world where anything's possible. And so in that, Georgie could very well, we both do virtual events. So you're kind of my competitor, but we've collaborated on some really cool stuff in the past. And, there's so much out there. There's so much opportunity that like we idea share and we both grow in that. And so same thing with our platforms, they're like, oh, well, you're also a platform. And I'm like, yeah, but we'll integrate you into ours, give you a new market channel, and then we all get paid. And so they're like, okay, sign me up for that. So, co-opetition is the name of the game. Like if you're like, oh, well, Georgie's hosting this content series and I'm learning from her, but she also does something similar to me. It's like, cool, that's the new norm. That is the world that we're in, and embrace that as soon as you can, because I use a lot of food metaphors. We're baking the pie as we go, right? And it's growing bigger and bigger. It's a big kitchen, but if you're trying to be in your own kitchen, stirring something up, everybody's going to be eating at our table. And so, come on over to the new kitchen, the Lunchpool kitchen, or the kitchen that we're part of, so co-opetition, collaboration is better.
I love these analogies, and I need to go grab some lunch now because
me too.
Like you talked about pie, you talked about the kitchen, and we saw like the virtual lunchroom with pizza. Alex, I'm super hungry now.
I'm hungry too. Yeah, we're hungry. Let's go get some food. Thank you for having me. This was great.
Yeah, thank you for being here. And as Alex said, we are co-opetition, and there's so much room in this industry, right? This is another part of the series. Like we're talking to platform, we're talking to a bunch of different platforms that are out there. We're talking to service providers. Alex is not the first person that people might say, oh, that's her competition. Why would she have him on the show? And it's like, I haven't heard that word before, but that's what we believe in. There's so much room. We're continuing to grow. And every day there's a new solution, new tool, and we're looking for more experts. And I'm pretty sure, I'm always hiring. Alex, I'm pretty sure you're hiring right now.
We need some people.
Yes, we need some good people. So, definitely check out Lunchpool. And if you need any additional support, you can also check out GSD Solutions, or we could bounce each other off.
Or say, hey, I want to hire you both, and we'll
you can hire us both. We both have different specialties.
We did that. We did that Remo event. So Georgie was lead on. Yeah, that was awesome.
We did together. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, thanks for having me. And if if anybody needs advice too, like I just like to talk. My VP is like, can you sell some stuff? I'm like, that's your job. You're VP of sales. And my job is to make sure innovation is happening. So hit me up and I'll give you a free console. I'll show you the cool toys.
Yes, everyone. So the description, how to get in contact with Alex and Lunchpool is going to be below, as well as how to check out more stuff about GSD Solutions. And we'll catch you on the next episode of Events Reimagined. Thank you, everyone.
If you're ready to reimagine events, head on over to gsdsolutions.xyz. We look forward to seeing you at Events Reimagined.